Today, we are going to talk about small little money moves of the month that we've been posting on YouTube throughout the year. So, the idea of these monthly money moves were to break up kind of some overwhelming financial tasks into small little bite-sized pieces that you can focus on each month. So, we're going to talk a little bit about how that's helped us and then maybe jump into a few other months that we thought were the most helpful. So, Amanda, you want to kick it off with what you liked the best this year?
Yeah, I like thinking of myself as a client. I work with other people's money most of the day, and then my own finances fall to the bottom of the list, as I think happens with other people. This year, I took the month of May, which was 529 month, and reevaluated what we had saved for our children so far and looked at where we were and looked at how much we've been contributing. And so I found that just increasing our contributions by $60 a month was going to essentially cover a whole nother year of college for our kids. So for us, we could do the $60 a month extra, and our kids will have that much less student loans in their future. So I'm very excited that I took the time and just sat down and did that project.
Yeah, that's not an easy one for sure.
And then, Emily, I think you were going to cover a couple more highlights from different months.
Yeah, so let's see. So that was May. So in June, we had talked about educating yourself. It's like the summer school theme, maybe just reading a couple articles or something like that to see if there's anything out there that you've been missing. But for me, the April one was a big one. It's right after tax season, so I can finally focus on some other things besides taxes. And our theme was spring cleaning, taking a fresh look at your finances. So during this month, what that meant for me was looking at retirement as a whole and just being a little more intentional about starting to plan for that. I'm pretty far away from retirement, and it just seems so strange to think of yourself that far in the future. So I just sat down, looked at mine and my husband's funds and where we are at, and start to say, can we retire at this age? Can we retire at this age? It was just interesting to see what was out there because we've only been focused on retirement savings in a vacuum in general. We haven't really looked at where is that actually going to take us in 20, 30 years. So yeah, the intentionality, even if it wasn't exactly what we said in the money move of the month, it helped me get to that place.
Yeah, isn't that amazing how just being so much more intentional with your money has these knock-on effects over time? I think once you start to see that compound, it really makes a big difference. I was going to say the other one that I really resonated with me this year was March. So in March, it was St. Patrick's Day. So we said do something green. What I did personally was, in light of the new administration and some policy changes where they were canceling government contracts and removing government funding to a lot of programs that I personally thought were important. I think now more than ever, private capital is important for these type of programs. And if you have your savings built up, your retirement and your investment accounts, putting those funds towards investments that you believe in is an important thing to do right now. So that was my version of something green, steering more towards environmentally friendly things. But I think those are personal, right? That was what worked for me. I think for other people, you could evaluate what's important to you and how is that reflected in your money.
Yeah, these aren't necessarily specific. Some are more specific than others, but yeah, it's you can put your own spin on this aspect of personal finance. We talk about it so much, personal finance is very personal, and a lot of it has to do with behavior. So these are some broken down, easy, hopefully, behaviors to adapt, or some good habits to make work for you in a bite-sized chunk.
Yeah. I liked the October one, update your beneficiaries. That's not exciting. There's not a
No.
great story about it. It's easy for that to fall the bottom of your list, but we all need an excuse to go in and look at it and make sure it's still right.
When you have a new child, the last thing on your mind is, let me go update my beneficiaries on my IRA.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea to have someone remind you, oh, yes, need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going along with my April checking into what I could do in retirement, September was focused on tax planning, gains and loss harvesting, things like that. It fit into my overall idea of intentional savings. When you figure out that intentional savings part of everything, you can move on to the taxes, which is not like spending for fun, but it's money that has to be spent whether you like it or not. So it got me more on the spending side of things. So intentional spending. And an example of this is we are going on a trip for Christmas instead of purchasing gifts for each other. So we're still spending the money, but it's a little bit more like in line and budgeted for within our financial plan. So that's what I've been working on all year.
And doesn't it make it easier to spend that money on the trip because you know that the other stuff is taken care of, and it makes it easier and more
We
fun?
are we are both planners. Oh, we're both planners in different ways, maybe. So it helps us get on the same page and figure out what we want to spend our money on and what makes us happy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that.
Any others you wanted to talk about?
Of course, the November one we did, practicing gratitude, we were talking about looking at the financial moves you've made, and we discussed how it was important to take an assessment of the things you're doing right, not just looking at things that need to be improved or made better, because those are important too. But I think for us, practicing gratitude has been really for our clients. Emily and I, we love running our business and we couldn't do it without our clients. And we love that they let us into their lives and letting us help guide them. It's really gratifying work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. If you would like to see the details of these videos, we will link the YouTube playlist of all 12 months for you to view. We talked about a lot of them, but there are some we didn't mention. So definitely check that out. And some of them may overlap. Some of them, like we said, might mean something else to you than they meant to us. So we give some examples in those videos, and they're really short, easy, bite-sized things to focus on. And maybe the January one will resonate with you in a different month. Think of us as like an accountability friend to help you get something done.
Yeah, well put.
All right, we'll be back with more exciting information in 2026. Thank
Okay,
you. We'll talk to you next time.
bye.